Hey folks, welcome to another end-user tutorial video. This video will show you how to set reminders on a page. Reminders are useful in the event that you want to send yourself or another group of users a message about a particular page. Unlike page parameters, all user levels can set reminders for the page, provided they can access that particular page. There are two types of reminders in the system, which we'll look at in detail in just a second. Before we talk about them, let's hop into OU Campus and see where you can actually get to them. I'm here at the root of my site, and I'm going to go to my campus life directory into the Student Union page. Perhaps I have a list of current events that the Student Union is going to be putting on, and I want to make sure that I remember to update the list of events when one ends or when we announce another. Now that I'm viewing this page, I'm going to go ahead and click on the Properties button in the Page Actions toolbar, just as if I was going to edit the page parameters. However, unlike with page parameters, I don't need to check the page out first. Once I've clicked on Properties, I can go to the Reminders menu item in the side navigation panel. This brings up the Reminders screen, which is where I can set my reminders for this particular page. As I mentioned before, there are two types of reminders that you can set on a page: scheduled reminders and stale reminders. You can set either reminder on a page, or you can actually have both on the same page. Let's set our scheduled reminder on this page. Scheduled reminders allow me to send a reminder at the specified date and time. Let me choose my date and time here. I want to set a reminder for next Monday so I can remember to update the list of events for the upcoming week. You'll notice that I can also set this reminder to repeat. Perhaps I want to send a reminder to myself every Monday, so I'm always reminded to edit this page. I can set my reminder to recur weekly, just like this. Next, we get to configure who this reminder is going to get sent to, and what it'll say. You'll notice that the default person this reminder is sent to is myself. If I just want this reminder to come to me, I can leave that as is. However, if I want to send this message to another person or a group of people, I can click this drop-down menu. This drop-down menu contains the names of all of the groups that I belong to. In this example, my user belongs to a group called Campus Life Contributors and another group called Athletics. If I selected Campus Life Contributors, the reminder will then be sent to all users who are in that group, including me. That might be good for this situation because perhaps it's our whole department's responsibility to update this event list and not just mine. So let me just go ahead and add a subject here. And once I'm done with that, I'll just add the body here. Awesome. And finally, when that is done, I have the Send Copy to Email checkbox. If I check this, it's going to allow OU Campus to send an email to whatever email address I have added to my user account in OU Campus. If it's unchecked, I'll get a message in my OU Campus inbox, which I can then go to from the dashboard menu in the global navigation bar, but I won't be notified outside of my system. Alright, so once I've configured this, my reminder is ready to go. I'll click Save here, and now my reminder will sit on this page and send a notification out to all the users in the Campus Life group on Monday mornings. Now let's go to another page to show how the second type of reminder works. The second type of reminder is called a stale reminder. This type of reminder will see when a particular page was last published. If a certain amount of time has passed between that published date and the present, it'll send out a reminder. The reasoning behind this is that you want to make sure your content is up to date or fresh. Pages that haven't been updated in a while may contain old or stale information, and pages without recent updates may not be ranked as highly in search engines. It's important to make sure that your pages are getting updated or at least looked at regularly. To set a stale reminder, I follow the same process as I did before. This time, I'll go into my Academics directory and adjust the Study Abroad page. I'll click on Properties again, and then in Reminders, and then I'll scroll down past the scheduled reminder to the Stale Reminder panel. With Stale Reminders, I just set the time interval that I want for the page to be considered stale. I can also see when the page was last published, which can be a reference when I decide how long it should take for the page to be considered stale. Notice that there's no option to repeat this reminder. That's because the stale reminder will always, in a way, repeat. If the file becomes stale, the reminder message will be sent, prompting me to update and publish the page. Once I publish the page again, then the timer, so to speak, will reset, and it'll start counting down from the new published date and time. This process will continue until I remove the stale reminder from the page, or I change the interval at which things are considered stale. So for this example, let's say that my content will be stale after 2 weeks. I'll just set the interval here, and then I can modify the message below just as I did with the scheduled reminder. Again, you can see that I can either send this reminder to myself or all the members of any group that I belong to, but in this case, I'll just send this one to myself. And there we have it. We've set 2 reminders for our pages. Just as a reminder, we could have also set both of those reminders on the same page if we wanted to, but I just chose to put them on different ones as an illustration. Before we wrap things up, I wanted to show one last thing about setting reminders. In this video so far, we've set reminders by first navigating to the page, then clicking on Properties, and then Reminders. However, there is another way to do it that may be quicker if you're not already viewing the page that you want to set the reminder on. When I'm here in the Pages list view, looking at my pages, I can actually hover over the page I want to make a reminder for, and then in the Edit menu, I can click on Reminders in that drop-down. This will bring up the dialog box for reminders. We're seeing all of the same information that we would if we were in the Page Properties screen, but it's just organized slightly differently. As you can see, I can switch between stale and scheduled reminders using the tabs at the top of the dialog, instead of having them stacked one after another on the same screen. So, if you find that this may be easier for you, go ahead and use this method. One way isn't better than the other when it comes to setting reminders. It's all a matter of personal preference. Now that we've covered that, let's review the important takeaways from this topic. First of all, there are 2 types of reminders that you can set on a page: scheduled reminders and stale reminders. Reminders can be set inside the Properties area of the Page Actions toolbar, or they can be set by hovering over the page in the Pages list view and then selecting Reminders from the Edit menu. You can set either reminder for a page, or you can set both on the same page. And finally, you can send reminders to yourself or to any group that you belong to. If you select a group from the drop-down menu, that reminder will be sent to all users who belong to that group, including yourself. This wraps up our discussion of reminders. Thanks for watching.